So we've heard in previous interviews that the three pillars of the community for people living in this area, but also like living through desegregation, were the school, the church, and then the doctor.
Oh, well, we had good doctor service because
like
we had good
hospital.
doctors.
Oh yeah,
We had good doctors. In fact, Tuskegee Airmen is the first dentist I ever heard of who made house calls. He took care of my mother, Willis Sanderman, at 13th and S. He was a dentist. And Willis he got me in trouble in the service because he had graduated. He came back and taught me in primary how to do the barrel roll.
In primary?
Yeah, in primary. He taught me how to do barrel roll in a chair. And my instructor didn't teach me to do the barrel roll. So I'm out doing barrel rolls. And at the end of primary...
You don't know where you learned it.
Yeah. Well, no, at the end of primary, we had remember they used to have the little contests. And they put the sheets out on the field, and you had to land between the sheets. Well, before that competition, I went to Cecil Ryan, my instructor, and said, Mr. Ryan, can I get in acrobatics? He said, no. And that settled that, because he was my instructor. I got in the competition for landing between the sheets, and I won it. He said, now, you see, if I let you go out into acrobatics, you'd have been up there doing barrel rolls that I didn't teach you. My jaw dropped. Because I didn't know he knew I was out there doing it. But this shows you how, teenagers are something. And that's what I was. I was a teenager. And I was doing things that teenagers do. Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. The only thing I listened to them about was the bridge up at Bartlett Lake.
I couldn't do it.
No. Guys would go up there and fly under that bridge. And I wasn't going to do that. And the other thing, Cecil Ryan told me this. He said there are old pilots and there are bold pilots. There are no old, bold pilots.
All right.
That's
All
one
right.
thing Cecil told me.
All right.
Yeah. Those guys, and I told him when I graduated from primary, that's that picture with all the guys in it. We were just graduating. Walt and I were in the same class. And see, Walter was one of the men in my class that I looked up to. This guy had a son while he was down there with me, and I'm a little teenager, And so I looked up to them. And the thing I tell everybody, they looked out for us.
All right.
They looked out for us. And I'll never forget it. Now, he knows I don't kid anybody about them because they what they did for us. That's little. One of my Washington D.C. classmates, Freddie Anderson. Do you remember Freddie? Freddie soloed and went out. The first day he got out of the pattern, went out and buzzed the train between Opelika and Montgomery. And they washed him out in the air. They washed him out. When he got to the ground, they found out that he had buzzed that train, and they washed him out. Now Freddie was a very accomplished musician. He ended up in the first band at Tuskegee. After the war, he became the band leader at the Lincoln Colonnade.
You have to have lived in the era of William Fauntleroy. We're talking about things 75, 77 years back. And he'll bring names, dates, and people. Well, you remember? No, I don't remember. I don't know where in the world I bring that stuff up.
Well, I had a professor at Howard, Parker, who was taught engineering, and he said, write this on the tablets of your memory. And you knew that was going to be on the exam. And I think what happened with me, I watched these guys in front of me, men, and I'm a boy, and these men, the things they were doing. And I was writing it on the tablets of my memory.
All right.
Because they were showing me, I had lifelong friends. One is still alive, Francis Ashford, out in California. He and Nick Washington, I ended up in Keeslerfield, Mississippi for basic training, and I met with these two guys. And both of them, college men. And, they'd been in college, and I hadn't even been out of high school. I couldn't spell algebra. And it was one of those things. They monitored and said, "Let's help this little turkey." And I never forgot that.
I don't know. That's the spirit, I think,
Right.
of our time.
Especially that class.
It has to be in relationships. It has to be a core of trust and faith and
I'm younger than you all, but we all grew up in the spirit where the community was a village.
Yeah, right.
Anybody
could punish you.
Anybody.
Right.
I remember I got home, I was in grade school, elementary school, and we got boisterous one day, going home from school. And by the time I got home, my mother was at the door because somebody had called to tell I was out there cutting up.
There's one thing I want young people who view this to understand, that is that what we have inherited from our parents and our families, we must earn again for ourselves, or we will lose it. If we don't get this family thing together sooner, there will be higher mortality rates and killings, black on black crime, and that's our hope. I'm gonna have to go.
Is there anything you would want to highlight from your experiences, not only with PG County, but relative to the church, or any people that the history books miss that we should definitely be putting more effort into learning about?
Well, I think I can speak for all of these guys, but these two guys in particular. They accomplished things that would not have been done had it been left in the hands of those who felt that we were inferior. And that's the thing that, even for myself, I was the first black engineer hired by Metro, and I was able to get a lot of the other young engineers jobs at Metro because I understood what happened with me in the service, that if I can help this guy behind me, and they went on, and the guys that went on behind me did better than I did, very frankly. They became directors of the offices and stuff like that. But because
you paved the way.
And reach back.
Because, I reached back. I think that's better than paved the way. I reached back and said, and the two guys in particular, one, Wendell Downs, he's still living, but he became assistant director of an office where one of the guys that became after me, and I was talking to him about Tuskegee, and I said, yeah, Cecil Ryan was my instructor. He said, what? That was my daddy's friend. How can you put that together, except that, it was a network, unbeknownst to us, it became a network of things. Those guys, and Cecil Ryan was the man that taught me how to fly an airplane. And I couldn't drive an automobile, but I could fly that airplane. And it's because they felt a need to give back to us young turkeys, because we thought we were hot stuff on popsicle sticks
Yeah.
down there. But they were the popsicle sticks.
Look, I'm gonna have to leave you pretty soon, but let me ask, what basically is your purpose with the work?
So we are collecting oral histories from the people that lived it, primarily about PG County, but also the surrounding townships, the different people that have passed through, because there's a lot that people don't know. For example, our museum's been here for 10 years and people are now just finding out about it.
Right.
So we're wanting to look into the community and say, well, what are you curious about? What are the history books missing? And then we're adding this to our archives. We're taking in objects and we're curating new exhibits around them, in addition to putting the stuff online. So if someone can't come in person, they can always access the same information that we've got. So all the patents that we have, all of the different articles and information about people from this town or people who have come through this town and been affected by PG County, that all that history is still being kept alive, essentially.
How are you funded?
This initiative is actually funded by a grant. I want to say, let me stop recording because I'm not 100% and I don't want to